There's a lot of people talking about strategy. And strategy, usually they use very big words, complex words, jargons, creating a barrier of understanding. And they talk in this way to show they are superior. So if you work for big companies, and you know what I'm saying, as if strategy is very high, very grandiose, very complex, and only the intellectual ones understand them. But I want to offer a different perspective. Strategy is actually very simple. Everyone knows strategy. Everyone is using strategy, from kids to adults to working class people or to CEOs. I mean, the other days I was talking with a consultant. He is a very knowledgeable guy, and he made a very good analogy that strategy is actually how you plan to win, or how you plan to achieve a certain result. That's very easy and simple. And everyone is using strategy. For example, if you're playing a game, for example, a basketball game, and you form how you want to win over, how you want to get victory, and that is actually what strategy is. You think about what you're good at, and what are your components good at, and how you want to overcome them with your strengths. Or when you, for example, you have an interview and you want to leave a very good impression from the job interview, then you think how you would present yourself, how you would talk about their needs, and what are the special capabilities you have, and you want to focus what you said on these areas. And that is strategy, right? So strategy is simple. Strategy is how you win and how you want to get a certain result. Or more deeply, strategy is how you survive, right? So strategy, in another analogy, is just like war. And what's a war? A war is your plan to survive. You don't want to die. You want to beat your components. And so you think about how you want to stay alive, and what's your approach, and what are the weaknesses of your components, your opponents, and how you could avoid losing your force while reducing and decreasing the opponent's strengths or force. So that's pretty simple. And in terms of business, strategy is how to survive. Yeah, I think for some people this could be a very negative term, because I think it's a culture thing. Many companies would use, they don't like to use negative narrative. They would say, hey, these are our opportunity, these are how we grow and everything. But nowadays business are very competitive. Even, for example, if you are a small business owner, you know what I'm saying. If you are self-employed, you know what I'm saying. It's very competitive. And the first priority for any business, whether big or small, is to stay alive, is to survive, and to stay relevant. And that is not easy. Given the technology is advancing, our life is changing, AI is replacing many tasks. So how do you stay alive and not being beaten, not being kicked out of the game? And that is strategy. And in that case, strategy is how you look at the dynamic environment and you look at yourself and you say, hey, these are the things I should do. These are the things I should prioritize. And these are the areas that I might not want to focus because you have limited resources. You have limited attention. And that's pretty simple. Strategy is also about prioritization. It is about choosing what matters the most. And a lot of times, some corporations, they form this strategy in a vacuum. They're using fancy structures, things, diagrams, structure they learn from strategic books, books about strategy, and they make it very complex, and they make it logically coherent. But there could be a very big disconnect between what the market is and what the consumers want versus what they think their strategy should look like. And strategy in that essence is being made very grand, very beautiful, very artificial, and very, let's say, strategic. Well, that is the pitfalls that many companies or individuals face. I remember the other day, I was talking with my wife. She's running a small business on online retailing service. And the other days I was just showcasing the theories or the structures or the business, the MBA type of principles I learned from my work, what I learned from books. And she suddenly stops me and said, "Stop what you're talking about, because what I am working on, what I'm attempting to do, is to stay alive, is to survive. So stop talking about this kind of grandiose theories and think about what is the practical things I could do so I stay afloat. What should I do so my orders are not being captured by my competitors? And what I should do that my consumers will continue to buy from me instead of buying directly from others or directly from China, right? So it's pretty simple. And she has a very good business sense, and she doesn't know this kind of theories, and she doesn't talk in the very strategic ways. She talk in very plain and easy understandable language. And she's been using strategy that way for a long time. But just like many others do, if you own a business and you stay alive for a couple of years, you are using you're using strategies, and you just don't know it that you're doing that. And what I'm trying to propose is maybe we should stop glorifying strategy and using more common sense and using more general knowledge and language. And maybe that's much easier for you to plan out what you should do, or for you to talk about your ideas and in a more meaningful and understandable way.